Hello, this is Mary Jo Fox, and I'd like to share with you some information on how to get started with small group reading. Now, my goal in this screencast is to share with you why small group reading is important, and then how to get started. Now, first with the why. Because truly, if you don't believe that this is important, then it's going to be hard for you to put the effort in that it's going to take to make this work. And believe me, when it works, it is so worth it for students. Well, the why is because this is our opportunity to accelerate students wherever they are as readers. It's our time to build their competency with their accuracy and, whether or not they need to be working on multisyllabic words, or if there is a certain piece with that accuracy, but focusing on their needs, to be able to build those vocabulary strategies and those comprehension strategies for that deeper thinking, and then to build fluency. So this is really that opportunity to develop the standards, strategy, skills, the things that you're explicitly teaching your shared reading, but to do it on text that's matched to students, just slightly higher to stretch the students, but where it's at a point for those low students that they feel like it is possible and they can take the risks. And then at the other end for our high students, where they finally have to really start their motors and really go and do that thinking and that heavy lifting that's going to be needed for them to move forward. Now, none of this is going to work if it's not manageable for you as a teacher. Now, I've worked with teachers in the past, and these are some things that I think help make it so it really can work. First thing is you've got to really think about it. You're going to need 60 minutes per day. You're also going to need to consider that we're thinking of all of the students in the grade level as all of the teachers. So it's not where it's just my classroom, but really think of us as a whole as a grade level. As a PLC and grade level, we have to identify a common 60 minutes during the day that we're going to be setting aside for our small group reading. Probably the best thing is if you can find a 60-minute block. That will make life much easier. But in the real world, that doesn't always happen. So it may need to be two 30-minute blocks, or it may be a 40-minute block and a 20-minute block. Either way, it's going to take 60 minutes. What you're going to need to do is have this set aside really in pre-service, so then you're ready to start with your block of time during that first full week of school where you're setting up those routines for independent work. So then by the time you're ready to do your small group reading, the students have that stamina and that independence. How can we make it work? Well, let's take a large class, let's say 29 students, because if we could do it with a class of 29 to 30 students, we could do it with any class. In this class, let's say we've got 4 students who are reading below grade level, we've got 10 students who are reading on grade level, and we've got 9 students who are strong on grade level and 6 students that are really high. The very first thing I need to do is think about my day, because it doesn't matter how many students I have. I only have 3 slots, and I have it 5 times a week, so that means I've got 15 time slots to work with. I first go and I schedule in my below grade level readers because they're going to need to meet every day. I'm going to call them my group A, and I've got them going in that 9 o'clock time slot, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I then go and I take my other groups, and looking at it, I've got 10 time slots. So I've got to go and get those into 5 groups and meet with them twice a week. So I look at I've got 10 students that are on grade level. I go and I want to have 2 groups of 4 So I'm going to go and take my 2 highest out of those 10 and move those with my strong students that are on grade level. So in my on grade level, that'll be my group B and C, and I'll have a group of 4 in each of those groups. I then have my group D, which is my next strongest group. I'm going to make that a group of 5, and my group E will be a group of 6. My high students, I'll have them all grouped together, my group F, and they, again, like those other groups, will be meeting twice a week. Now, again, what if I'm trying to embed MTSS or doing SOAR? It'll work the exact same way, except now that 9 o'clock group will be a half hour, and my other groups are going to be 15 minutes. Okay, so now we've got our time blocked out. What do we do next? What's worked for many teachers is to go and do it with kind of a colored card system. So we get a set of index cards in a different color for each teacher in our grade level. If we've got 4 teachers, I'll go and I'll have one teacher A will have yellow, teacher B will have blue, teacher C will have pink, teacher D will have green. Each teacher fills out a card for each student on their color cards. So an example for my teacher B filled out this card on Jesus, and he's reading at a QRI 3, and I know that from the previous year. I've looked at the data, and I can see that he's a level M. That's the grouping that they had him in. And then if I don't have that, then I just go on that level. I just go and I make an estimation from what I have read with the students in that first full week of school. I also want to put down some notations that I notice that maybe he's having decoding issues with multisyllabic words. Or I might put if he's got a fluency issue, or whatever seems to be pertinent that would really help me then when I get to my sorting. Every teacher does this for each one of their students. Okay, now we've got our cards done. We set up a PLC time to bring the cards, and we do this in the last week of August. As we're getting together, we're sorting our kids into piles by reading levels. So I've got some stacks of maybe QRI 2, maybe QRI 3, maybe QRI 4, 5, and so on. Now, once I've got them grouped by reading levels, I'm going to go and try to make them into even smaller groups and place the students with their common needs or strengths. I put them into groups of 4, 5, or 6, and I try to have the lower level groups, or those groups of my students performing below grade level, in groups of 4. Once I have that done, I go and I label my groups A, B, C, D, all the way on up. Each one of the teachers then goes and takes a low group. And so, for example, if you see group A, that would be the teacher that had blue, so they've got most of the cards. Group C would be the teacher that has yellow. Group B and D, it'll be a toss-up because we've got 2 pinks in there and we've got 1 green. So the teachers that have pink and green will have to decide who's going to get Group B and who's going to get Group D. For the rest of the groups, we do it the same way, where we try to get it where it's most of the ones from that classroom teacher, but then sometimes we just have to go and figure out what will work best, so then we've got the same number of groups. As I did before when I was doing it with a single teacher, I first block out those students that are below grade level, and then I go and I fill in the other groups. And I do it for each one of the teachers. And so everybody's got their chart with 3 time slots and 5 days of the week. What comes next? I paper clip the cards with a post-it note with their letter coding on top as to which letter group it is. We take the teacher chart and type up each teacher's chart with the names of the students in each group. We then distribute that chart. We email it to all of the teachers so everybody knows where all of the students in the grade level are going. Some teachers like to get, kind of fancy, and as they're typing the student's name, to type it in their color so it really stands out whose class the student is in. We then identify our start date and our plan for teaching and implementing the routine. The expectation is that you'll begin with group one one group the first week of September. Again, to get that routine of what this looks like, and then have all groups meeting by the end of that week with Labor Day, so that 4-day week. Questions? Feel free to ask your building IRT. They are experts at going and sorting kids into groups. Or else always feel free to contact me. I would love to come out and be a part of helping you out with this. Thank you so much.